Our story begins on the front gates of a chateau in France. Raymonda, a beautiful young lady, stands with her beloved fiancé as he prepares to leave for the Crusades. Jean de Brienne, a noble knight fighting for the King of Hungary, gifts his fiancée a beautiful silk scarf as a parting gift and promises to return to her. Many moons passed, and the afternoon sun beat down on the eve of Raymonda's name day. A group of excited young children danced through the hall. They twirled and waltzed, their pretty pastel skirts brushing along the corridor walls. They all had beautiful, beaming smiles on their faces, and they were very excited for the celebrations that would begin the next day. There was excitement running all through the castle with the anticipation of tomorrow's celebrations. Raymonda's aunt, the Countess Sybil, had been looking after her for some time now and was helping organise the celebrations for her name day. She called her niece into the hall. Prancing down the stairs came the very beautiful Raymonda, her long legs leaping through the excited children. She danced, her beauty and joy leaking through into her movements as she spun around. Some of the children had brought flowers from their gardens to give to her, and she took them, holding them delicately as she continued to twirl. The children resumed their festive dancing, and once everyone had finished, they scurried off into the gardens to play in the afternoon sun. A messenger entered the hall. This was a messenger from the Crusades, carrying with him a letter. The Countess Sybil read the letter. Raymonda's fiancé would be returning from the Crusades tomorrow, just in time for her name day celebrations. Everyone was overjoyed, and the court ladies danced in the hall, grateful for the safe return of Raymonda's lover. Soon the hall had dispersed, leaving Raymonda alone with her thoughts. Raymonda's handmaids soon gathered around her, offering to dance for her. So she played for them a lyre that she strummed melodically as they danced, their movements soft and fluid. Then it was Raymonda's turn to dance. She danced with the soft silk scarf her fiancé had given her, delighted that Jean de Brienne would be returning the next day. Her luscious movements captivated her handmaids as they watched. It was now time for Raymonda to prepare for bed. Her handmaids took her by the hand and guided her away from the darkening sky. Soon, Raymonda felt weary, but she wasn't quite ready for rest yet, so she sent her handmaids away, thanking them, and wandered along the halls of the castle, growing even more weary in the darkening sky. She found herself out in the castle gardens. Then a magical apparition sprung to life between the trees. The White Lady, protector of the castle, appeared, illuminated by the moonlight, and with an imperious gesture, she ordered Raymonda to follow her. The White Lady, without making a sound, advanced along the terrace. Raymonda followed her in a state of unconsciousness and was led deep into the trees of the garden. At a signal from the White Lady, the garden was wrapped in mist. A vision of starlight fluttered around her. It was beautiful. And amongst the stars was Jean de Brienne, standing tall and proud before her. They danced together, mixing between the starlight and twirling the mist around them. It was a dance filled with euphoric love. The stars sprung into a twirling dance around the couple, and they twinkled between the trees of the garden, their light sprinkling across the soft grass. Raymonda and Jean de Brienne embraced each other in the sparkling sky. Raymonda was so very happy. The garden was illuminated by a fantastic light, and Raymonda expressed her joy to the White Lady, who interrupted her enthusiasm with a new vision. A vision full of warning. A new, strange man stood where her fiancé once had. His name was Abderrahman, and he declared a passionate love for her. But Raymonda, confused and upset that her fiancé had now vanished, quickly rejected him. This did not deter the vision of Abderrahman, who announced his intentions to marry her. Raymonda begged the White Lady to save her, and as she did, Abderrahman tried to take Raymonda by force. She cried out and fell to the ground in a faint. Slowly, the frightful vision disappeared, along with the White Lady, leaving Raymonda alone, waking now in the depths of the garden, memory of her dream worrying her. The sun dawned on Raymonda's name day, and the celebration began. It was a celebration much like a birthday would be, and the castle was decorated from head to toe. Her best friends, Henrietta and Clemence, and two of her most trusted handmaids joined her at the celebration. Suddenly, into the hall burst a group of slaves, followed by a strange man in jewelled blue silk. He bowed to Countess Sybil and demanded to know where Raymonda was, for he had heard of her beauty and wanted a claim on her hand. Raymonda, distressed by the appearance of the man, recalled him from the vision the White Lady had showed her. She swiftly rejected him. Abderrahman then sent two of his slaves forward, carrying a chest with the most valuable gems and jewels inside. He declared a passionate love for Raymonda, but no matter what he did, she refused his advancements. But Countess Sybil reminded her of her manners, so with indignation she summoned her friends to dance with her for their unexpected guest. As they danced, Abderrahman's eyes never left the beautiful Raymonda. She was a picture of pure majesty, surrounded by her friends, and her glorious movements kept the whole court enraptured. Then Henrietta and Clemence danced for the court, swirling and leaping into the air, and balancing in beautiful adages. Raymonda followed, performing one of her very favourite dances and almost forgetting about the intruder as she enjoyed the way she spun and twirled. After they had all finished their dancing, Abderrahman came forwards once more. Abderrahman beckoned to his slaves, deciding to show all the benefits Raymonda would gain if she chose to leave with him. He called his slaves to dance for her. They were incredible dancers. They were energetic and nimble, showing off their amazing skills and engaging the court's attention. Some of the slaves danced so well that the court seemingly forgot the intention of Abderrahman's visit. There were exotic slaves in beautiful blue silks that leapt high into the air with an amazing flexibility. Then, fiery Spanish gypsies stormed into the hall. Their movements were laced with desire and seduction. Abderrahman became even more insistent and soon realized that the only way to possess Raymonda was by force. All the slaves entered into the hall and performed a furied bacchanal for the court. Tension grew as the hall filled, every exit blocked by Abderrahman's slaves. Raymonda tried to find a way out, but she was trapped. Abderrahman ordered his slaves to grab Raymonda. In an attempt to abduct her, they lifted her high into the air. But luckily, Jean de Brienne arrived with his knights and rescued her from the grasps of Abderrahman's slaves. The knights drew arms and fought against the opposing party in the hall. Jean de Brienne seized towards Abderrahman, but then the King of Hungary stepped between them, commanding the two rivals to put an end to the matter in a duel. The two met in a frenzied fight, swords clanging as they collided in the air, the prize of Raymonda's hand burning in their minds as they battled. With one heroic move, Abderrahman was defeated. Raymonda, overjoyed with relief, went over to her fiancé, and the two reaffirmed their love, embracing each other with tender adoration. The wedding day of Raymonda and Jean de Brienne was a merry affair. The King of Hungary had kindly offered his kingdom as venue for their celebration, and the whole day was enveloped with Hungarian flavour. A beautiful display of elegant dancers proudly walked into the hall, where they then performed a wonderful Hungarian chateau. Their long sleeves waited as they danced around. Then a flurry of dancers twirled into the hall, their vibrant skirts swirling as they leapt and bounded around, smiling at all the guests who filled the hall. Then came the magnificent jewelled dresses of Raymonda's friends. They leapt around the hall, announcing the arrival of the newlywed Raymonda and Jean de Brienne, who were rapt with happiness as they bounded along the stone floor. Raymonda and Jean de Brienne wound themselves into a succulent dance lush with delicious quality. The elegant jewels scattered on Raymonda's dress gleamed and glittered across the hall as they danced in perfect harmony. Together they spun in the hall, and then joyous performances were held by a few of Raymonda's entourage, who spun in an energetic flare of movement and delicately tiptoed with a beautiful subtlety. Jean de Brienne also danced for the hall, leaping and spinning in strong bounds of happiness. The noble knight, elated and exhilarated at his wedding. Raymonda, however, had a calm joy that proudly swept over the crowd in the hall. Her feet scurried along the stone floor as if she was light as a feather. The crowd was entranced by her beauty as she swayed, breath filling every movement. The whole hall then leapt up and danced together in celebration of the couple, merrily skipping and twirling, spinning and swinging, jumping and galloping. The happiness of the hall rebounded through the corridors and out into the night air. Raymonda and Jean de Brienne joined together, the guests at the wedding surrounding them. They embraced in euphoric glee, the centerpiece of a wonderful celebration in Hungary.